All right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all like Akim. Well, Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity into the video through the Spirit. Your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. All right, doing another video. I did one like this recently, but I'm doing another one because it came to mind again. You know, why? Who are these people that come out of these horrible situations, you know, from all corners of the earth, these impoverished, disadvantaged, you know, ugly, horrible origin points, yet have the ability to rise to society and are capable of such great feats? All right, I'm going to be using two people here. What's her name? Simone Biles, and we're gonna be using Daniel Cormier. You know, Simone Biles is that you know, she's a gymnast. Daniel Cormier, you know, he started out as a wrestler, worked his way up to the Olympics as well, then went on to become a world champion MMA fighter. And you know, these two have something in common with many of us. Have some things in common. When I say us, I'm referring to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, the Israelites, which it was promised to us that we would be cursed, that we would be cursed with disease, madness of the mind, otherwise, you know, insanity. Our men being absent from the house, and when they, you know, and slaughtering each other. Our mothers being evil and whatnot, right? Yet many of us still find ourselves capable of such great things. Who else fit these prophecies? Who else fits them verses, y'all? So we gonna start. I didn't even know this about her. Apparently, she comes from a family of addicts, which many of us do, right? What was that one song? What Kanye say? Damn, what he say in that line? We all know, you know, how crack came through in the 80s and destroyed Jake, which, you know, we're already destroyed, right? Nevertheless, you still got certain Jake shining through. So let's start with her real quick.
Let her know that I love her. I'm very proud of her, you know, but I'm just still waiting, you know. I would like to sit down and talk to you and answer any questions you may have, you know, 'cause I don't know what you've been told but, you know, I want you to hear the real deal. So you don't have, like, a direct number that you can... I want to let her know that I love her. I'm very proud of her, you know, but I'm just still waiting, you know. I was like... Even reach out to her? I do, but I won't. Why not? I want her to reach out to me. You know, she's 27 now. She's married. I would like to have been a part of that, but I just have to wait for her. Even reach out to her.
So apparently her birth mother, you know, her physical mother, she was an addict at some point. You read further down, what does it say right here? I'll just read a little bit of this. It says Simone Biles' biological mom spoke about her openness to reunite with her daughter again. Shannon's struggle with addiction ultimately led to Simone and her siblings being placed in foster care. Extremely young. It says Simone was only 3 at the age of 6. Shannon's parents, which is says Simone's grandparents, adopted Simone and her siblings, raising them as their own children. Simone has since referenced to them as her parents, right? So that's all we really need. So she, you know, got off that stuff, ended up losing her children, which her grandparents took it over. And many of us in these hoods and in these favelas, all right, in these barrios, many of us are raised by people that are not our direct parents for multitude of reasons. You know, sometimes they might not be addicts, but sometimes they might just get clipped early, and we gonna see that in another case. But this starting point is so common amongst the Israelites. Immediately out the gate, you're fucked. You're immediately cut off from inheritance. You're immediately cut off from, you know, so much even, knowing where the hell you come from. You don't know where your parents come from. You don't even know where the fuck you come from. Now, why is it? And her daughter, throughout all these disadvantages, rolls on to become, an Olympic champion. So now, of course, you would like to have a conversation with her, meet her, and potentially get some of that, some of that bread. Which, what they got going in between them, that's their business, right? If she just genuinely wants to see her daughter, that would be nice to believe. But we know how our people are. Our people tend to supplant. So obviously, she would probably like a little bit of compensation. Jake, boy, let me merge real quick. So apparently Simone don't deal with her, like that. So Deuteronomy 28, man. Verse 15, it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." All right. Now, obviously, we don't have the time to read all the curses, but we'll go to some of the big ones that apply in this situation. And no matter where you are as an Israelite, no matter what status or level society you're on, that's one way or another, one of these curses affect you in a major way. Let's go down. Salakia. Just scrolling down. Yep. Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna start at 56 for this one, right? For the mothers. It says, "The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates." Now, literally in ancient times, when we would get raided, and invaded by heathen, our people would cannibalize themselves in order to survive. What we see here, the women are no longer soft and delicate, and they no longer have that naturally nurturing nature about themselves that a woman and that a mother is supposed to have. We see that in the interactions of our women, with themselves. Just go listen to some rap music for about 20 minutes, and you'll see the mindset of our women. It's not that of a delicate princess, but that of a demon. A demon. Yet and still, some of us coming from homes like this are still able to get out here and do great things. All right, matter of fact, Deuteronomy 28:28, it says, "And Yahweh shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee." All right, so our people are smitten in madness. Smitten with madness, Salakia. Insanity. That's why, you see these crazy ass news reports of, Israelites doing crazy ass things, going on drive-bys, and, motherfucking, some of the silly shit they get arrested for, running from police, fighting, getting tased, getting caught selling this, caught up in this, caught up in that. In verse 29, it lets you know we're going to always be oppressed. Although some of us are capable of greatness, nevertheless, we're not going to be able to get ourselves out of this condition. No matter how great, smart, no matter what level of society we do rise to, as a whole nation, we are still fucked off and underneath the feet of our enemy. So let's go. Let me get this one loaded. So we got all these daggone curses upon us. Let me get this next one. And Jake is still, you know what? Let me come back. Jake is still shining like a light. Let me get it. Alright, so we'll play a little bit of, this is a 40-minute documentary. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Mainly just want like the first 8 minutes. Another Israelite story. Rising up from the depths of suffering, dysfunction, and chaos, and becoming, world war now. Alright, that's why, matter of fact, I'm sorry, y'all, let me go to Genesis, man. Because ultimately, we did this, we descend from a great and a special bloodline. Genesis 6, and I'm going to start at 4. It says, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. All right, dealing in the pre-flood era, the sons of God. This is the giants that it's referring to here, the fallen ones, not physical giants in this instance, although there are giants on the earth, or there was, right? But these men were considered giants for their greatness. All right. The Israelites, many today, become great through their feats, through their capabilities. Nevertheless, we're still in our fallen estate. All right, still got to pay taxes, still got to, pay your car insurance, still have to, take them babies to school. Otherwise, truancy is knocking on your door. All right, the truancy laws. In today's time, of course. All this greatness, all this salt, all this magnificence coming from the most just horrible places you can imagine.
First time caller. I just wanted to say to Cormier, like, yo, at the end of the day, he left the ring crying, like, yo, what's up with that?
The crazy thing is that it was allowed to happen. They just completely got away with it. Doing one of the dirtiest things I've seen in sports.
For the winner, by unanimous decision, Daniel D.C.
Why are they booing Cormier? It really drives me nuts.
Boy, DC,
I saw
terrible.
What?
Terrible.
What?
How are you gonna give up away and then fight like a
So when they're booing in there, it's fine. It just bounces off of me.
boo me, yes, that makes a lot of sense. But I think a lot of people are looking at DC to justify the fact that he's a champion.
and crying like a bitch?
I want to make fun of a guy who's literally putting his health on the line in an occupation where you're competing against a motherfucking trained killer. You gotta have some respect.
Have you ever wondered, like, why do I love violence so much?
So I was dating this guy, Chris, for years. I wanted to buy a house. Chris didn't.
As a kid, I grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. We didn't have anything.
When you were 7, you lost your dad, your biological father.
Yeah.
I see your pendant too. Your mom and
Yeah,
your
my parents. Yeah,
Right.
so this is my stepfather. He raised me, man. My biological dad left. He got remarried, started a new family. I have one memory of my biological father, just one, and it's the oddest memory that we were at a truck stop. I
I think he was a truck driver, and we were at a truck stop one day, and he was like cleaning his truck. But that's the only memory I have of my biological dad. But I do remember the day he passed away. I remember being at my aunt's house, and we were watching The Color Purple, and I just remember my mom getting a phone call, and everybody just going absolutely crazy. And he got killed, man, murdered by his new father-in-law on Thanksgiving Day. I couldn't really understand what was going on.
So not only, was his father not in his life, his literal father. I'm gonna have to go get that scripture, but he ended up getting murdered. Growing up in the hood, in the ghetto, coming out of Lafayette, right, the South. How many, Jake, got this same common story? Too many.
And I just remember like going to a funeral for my dad, but not really having that relationship and understanding of what losing my dad was. I think growing older, I then started to realize what a father was supposed to be in your life, and I understand that he wasn't that. That's why my dad, Percy Benoit, the one that's on my chest here, showed me what it is to be a father. When I was younger, we were on government assistance. My mom, she didn't want to do that anymore. She wanted to try and make a way herself, her and my dad, and they did.
How many, Jake, once again, had to get by on government assistance? Exactly.
She did house cleaning. My dad was working for the city of Lafayette every morning, 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock, coming home. He would bathe, eat dinner, and leave, and go and wash dishes at a pizza parlor. And if he wasn't at a pizza parlor, he was cutting the cemetery. He was always working. So I had two very hard-working parents. You should have beat up a lot as a kid. Man, it was rough. This one kid used to just mess with me all the time. His name is Gilbert. He would beat me up just good. Almost every class picture, I'm going because my mom wouldn't let me go because I had some sort of knot or like I had something from playing in the yard or just getting hit. Like they would have random kids playing basketball. Kids would get into fights or whatever. I would watch just like everybody else. I want to enjoy the fight. We are drawn to that. So I would watch kids fight. And if I was watching the fight, kids saw, oh, there's a ruckus. I guess I'm going to go over there and kick Daniel's ass. Why not? There's already one fight, so he beats me up. I want to go to my house, cry a little bit. Over doing that. When I go back to school the next day, he probably going to beat me again. Right? But that's just what he did. I wouldn't fight the kid. Like I had something that was like a block. Like I could not allow myself to stand up to this kid. I was beaten, I was bruised, I was battered. I did not think I could beat him. I had no confidence when it came to him. One day, me and my friend PJ, my cousin, we were kicking a football tee. At a point, he got tired of retrieving and he stood up for himself. He's like, I'm not going to get the ball again. So then him and I started fighting. And the high school wrestling coach was leaving, pulled over and he goes, what are you guys doing? And he stopped us from fighting. And he started talking to us about wrestling. That's pretty much how I started wrestling. Like, if I didn't learn to fight, I was just going to get beat up all the time. One of the happiest days of my life, Gilbert came over and he was going to kick my ass again for the... The kid's like 99-1 against me my entire life, He was coming to kick my ass for 100 times. He just didn't know that I had learned to wrestle. So as soon as he went to get me, I took his ass down, put him in a half Nelson. He's like flopping around on his belly, like, what is going on here? I was like, you see, this is your life now if you try to kick my ass again. It saved me for like the last 2 years of middle school wrestling. Saved me because every time someone would try to get me, I would actually take him down and then I would beat him up. And then they stopped. They just left me alone. And from like that day, I was like, no one's bullying me because I can stand up for myself. It makes me a little bit aggressive. Like if I feel like someone's trying to bully me, I always like go after them.
So I'll pause it for a moment and we'll come back. So here it is. So obviously, you should know where this is going. This he was a young man, disadvantaged, all right, in the hood, where things ain't so good. And then through circumstances, he stumbles upon a new goal. He stumbles upon a new talent, which is wrestling, all right. And what do you think he's gonna go on to do? All right, so let's go back to that Deuteronomy real quick, dealing with his origin, right? Who was promised to have broken households, especially and specifically, messed up fathers or absent fathers, and messed up mothers, right? Your people, doing each other wrong, dogging each other. All right, just coming to this real quick. You know, it came to mind. Detailing our condition, real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Jumping the gun. Then we'll go to this one. He said he only had one memory of his father. And that's pretty fucked up. Hey, most likely, he's a right 2/3, right? He's in the world. He's most likely not gonna come into the truth. But that's everybody knows that's fucked up, right? And we're just told to deal with it. Shut up, stop complaining, pick yourself up by the bootstraps. But none of these people who have these things to say to us, they couldn't survive these same conditions. And in these same conditions, they would fucking break. All right, Deuteronomy 28:54 says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward his wife, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Right. So this is the flip side of it. We see that the men are also fucked off amongst the nation, right? Especially the relationship between the father and the offspring. All right, Lamentations 4:1, it says, how has the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? Right, so we were once esteemed as gold, but now we've become lesser than. All right, a gold is 1,000 times more desirable than a pot of clay. All right, we've degenerated from our former great estate en masse. All right, you look at the majority of Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and they are in this low down estate throughout whatever parts of the world they live in. Nevertheless, we're still able to shine through amidst all of the darkness. Why is it like that for us? And is there anything on the planet Earth that tells us our lives would be like this? Yes, in the scriptures. That's where. All right, that's how we know that we are the children of Israel. Okay, let me get where is it at? Is that 2nd Esdras 8? Let me see. 2nd Esdras 10. All right, describing our condition. Yep, 2nd Esdras 10:21. It says, for thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temple destroyed. Our psaltery is laid on the ground. Our song is put to silence. Our rejoicing is at an end. The light of our candlestick is put out. The ark of our covenant is spoiled. Our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is almost profaned. Our children are put to shame. Our priests are burnt. Our Levites are gone into captivity. Our virgins are defiled. Our wives are ravished. Our righteous men carried away. Our little ones destroyed. Our young men are brought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. And which is the greatest of all? The seal of Zion hath lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. And this is a very good, I like coming to this precept. This is an overall synopsis of our entire nation. We are completely broken down fundamentally from everything that the Heavenly Father gave us to hallow us, meaning to separate us, right, to make us holy and put apart. We've been stripped of all these things. We've been stripped completely of our heritage, completely of our culture. We're on the other side of the planet. Niggas outside their mind, females outside their mind, little children is little demons. Right? Yet we still got that spark inside of us. So let's come back now. Then we'll finish out with some scriptures.
A little bit aggressive. Like if I feel like someone's trying to bully me, I always like go after them. You know, that was like something I developed as a defense mechanism. Instead of worrying about them grades, I was chasing girls. I was wanting to hang out. I was doing all the things that we all did as high school kids. And when it came time to go to school, I didn't have the grades. So I had to go to junior college. So I chose to go to Colby, Kansas. They had 4,000 people in the whole city, bro. So I was sitting there like, what else am I going to do out here but train? When I was in college as a freshman, I actually failed off the team. I got in a fight. I tried a lot in the college. They were like, man, that is not true. Come to jail. And that's when I realized how much it meant to me. Wrestling was, especially in Louisiana, the best kids were the private school kids. So they kind of had money. My mom bought me a pair of shoes from Academy Sports. Fortunately, they only had purple shoes. They made fun of me. They was messing with me the whole time, but I was the best one. So when I started winning and winning and winning, that's how I got.
And that's actually live footage of him right there, wrestling on behalf of the USA, literally. You know, so from the hoods of Louisiana to becoming literally one of the best wrestlers that the country has produced.
In respect. And then I did some stuff that nobody did, because Louisiana has no wrestling. Like you said, we're good in baseball, we're good in basketball, we're good in football. There was no wrestling. So I was the only guy that when we would take 20, 30 kids around the country, I would be the only one that was like placing, winning national championships. I started competing at the highest level at 15. Wrestling was my first world championship as a 15-year-old kid. And when we would take 20, 30 kids around the country, I would be the only one that was like placing, winning national championships.
I'm sorry, y'all, but I just seen his face right there. So this is him when he's younger. Although, you know, he's literally one of the best wrestlers coming out of the U.S. Look at his face right there. Is that the face of a, a young, happy? Did that nigga look happy to you? You can see the suffering in his eyes, right? Straight up. And we ain't known for being all super smiley, especially in pictures. Especially, if you're into combat sports and shit. But look at him, straight up. Is that the face of somebody who grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth and has enjoyed the delicate higher life and, had the love of many? No. That's the face of a young warrior clawing his way through life, trying to make his living with no other avenue.
I started competing at the highest level at 15. Wrestling my first world championship as a 15-year-old kid.
Fast forward 9 years, Daniel had his first kid at 24. Inspired to be a great role model the same way his stepfather Percy was for him.
I've dealt with some shit in my life, man. I lost my daughter back in 2003 in a car accident. I called the highway patrol. They told me that there was an accident on the highway and that 3 people were injured, but there was only one fatality, and it was her. Just some guy being irresponsible, not paying attention. The baby's strapped in exactly as she's supposed to be. The guy bangs into the back of the car. She died at the scene. We barricaded in Killeen, Texas. I just remember her casket being so small. So small. And just not understanding why stuff like that keeps happening. You gotta go through so much, and it's like...
And things like this keep happening because of the curses. And that's what we understand now that many of our people don't. That's what gives us peace in mind.
In those moments, like, that's where you figure out who you are. When I lost my daughter, like, that same year, I made my first United States team.
DC secured 4th place in Athens and came back as America's team captain for the following 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing.
So right there, literally worked his way up, which, we don't worship the Olympics. We know that shit's a bunch of Greek bullshit, right? But literally from the hoods of of Louisiana to 4th place at the fucking Olympics. All right. How many y'all we could sit here, how many ninjas out the hood then rose to being at the top of society now, so-called, right? At least, underneath the elites, because elites is really at the top, right? LeBron James, right? Didn't he come from Cleveland? 50 Cent. He's a scumbag, right? We're going from being shot 9 times to a multi-millionaire. Kanye West out of Chicago. Kevin Hart, little ass. All the people who, they're not actually worth a damn because they're not doing nothing for the Lord, but they go from being down at the bottom to climbing to the heights of society. All right, through their actions, whether it be physical or their talents and little skills that they got. Why does this keep happening? And why is it these people in particular that can just turn the worst of a situation into a good one? Why? Jeremiah 51:19. It says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. All right, the portion of Jacob is not like them, y'all. We are a special people, even in our low estate, even downtrodden, not knowing who your father is. Broken, destroyed, and divided family, all right? Motherfuckers dying left and right around you. He lost his pops, he lost his daughter, all right? If I kept the documentary going, he would go on to lose his mother and his stepfather, right? And he's still, he ended up, he's retired now, but he went on to become a mixed martial MMA champion in 2 weight classes, light heavyweight and heavyweight division. All right. Who are these people? We have Simone Biles, right? Mama was off the shits. She's a world-class gymnast. All right, y'all could, we all got our favorite little couple motherfuckers. All these different Jakes, right? All that come to mind. Allen Iverson, right? I forget what city he was out of, but just the time would fail me. A whole multitude of boxers. Hey, Terrence Crawford, right? He what was he? He came out of Nebraska, Omaha. His mama telling him, "Boy, you ain't gonna be nothing." Hang on. Real quick. We'll get some more scriptures, but real quick. It's Terrence Crawford, a little bit of his background.
My dad used to.
His dad said we got $1 million baby boy.
My dad used to tell my mom I was gonna be a world champ.
I told him we won't be
Man, she has her own ways to motivate her son. She has her own way of loving her son. But they love each other, man. They're 2 peas in a pot together. You kept telling him, are you never going to amount to anything? Did you really believe it?
Some things that I said to him, I wanted him to be a man. Don't be afraid of nobody.
That's a hard lesson to learn, you're 12, 13.
Yeah, but he had to learn it.
How'd that make you feel?
It filled me with rage. And every time I stepped foot in the ring or anything that I ever did, I just wanted to win so bad so I can prove a point to her.
He was 13 when he said, Mom, you're not going to whoop me no more. He took the belt from me.
I grabbed the belt and told her, you ain't about to hit me no more. Oh, that's out the window. I ain't getting whooped no more.
I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Could not whoop him.
You went out on the street.
Yeah.
What's now Bud Crawford Street.
Yeah.
And offered $10 to anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah, kids in the neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop them.
What did he tell you then?
He told you, Mom, I told you I'm the best.
Let's just say 2019, you have a black mother and a white mother. The sons go to school together. They find themselves at a meeting. The black mother leans over to the white mother and says, I just wanted to mention to you that I noticed that your son is really doing quite well. And the white mother's response is, oh, thank you. She begins to go on and on about he won the science fair, his uncle's an astronaut. She's just oozing. She realizes the black mother's son is actually excelling her son. And she says, well, wait a minute. Your son's the one that's really coming along. And the black mother responds, oh, my God, he's a handful, but, oh, he just works my nerves. Now, when I'm working with African-American people, it doesn't matter what the audience is. It doesn't matter what class. If I were to ask, is she very proud while she's saying those denigrating things? And everybody laughs and goes, of course, there's a secret. Because everybody black knows that even though the black mother is going, oh my God, she's really proud. So now let's roll that scene back 300 years. And let's say this black mother is working in the fields and a white slave owner comes through and says, wow, that boy is really coming along. What is she gonna say? No, he's not. He's stupid. He's shiftless. He can't work because I don't want you to sell him. So I denigrate them to protect them. That is called appropriate adaptation when living in a hostile environment. The little white boy, say Timmy, you know, he feels really comfortable and happy about what his mom just said about him. And Trey looks at his mom and wonders, why can't you be proud of me? Because he doesn't understand the secret yet. And by the time he learns the secret, he will have already been injured by it. Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
He once told me I was fighting for her approval, for her to tell me she was pregnant.
Yep, hey, the real PTSD. All right, and who has it? Us. And this is, you know, all that psychological shit that being a captive does to you, right? She told him he wasn't gonna be shit, and that, like he said, I was filled with rage. And it filled him with so much rage that he went on to become a multi-time world champion. You know, he just fought, what was that, 2 weekends ago? All right, and he, you know, displayed his skill set once again and maintained his belt. And the difference between him and most niggas in the hood, he had a positive outlet to channel that energy into boxing. Most niggas in the hood don't, so they end up dead or in jail. When, you know, your mama telling you you're not shit, well, you don't turn to, you know, you turn to drugs and shooting and fucking hoes and gang banging, and now you're dead before you're 21. All right. Just a too common of a story, and it's not. It can't be coincidence, and it's not coincidence, y'all. It's not coincidence. We're in the land of our captivities, struggling along. All right, as it was prophesied, we would be. Matter of fact, let me get one more. Not one more, but let me get another one. Micah 5. Yeah, Micah 5 and yep. I'll start at 7 actually. It says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of man. Verse 8. So, you know, we're a remnant in the land of our captivities. All right. Verse 8 says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he goeth through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. All right, and really that's dealing with, you know, the elect when they're going to be raised up, specifically the 144,000. All right, but this describes our trait, y'all. We are like a fucking lion surrounded by sheep. So dominant, so powerful, so capable, surrounded by goddamn easy prey, yet they have us, and they got us bent down and kneeled down, when really we're the ones who are superior. We're that chosen, special, peculiar people. That's why we shine. All right, Deuteronomy 14:2. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua thy power, and Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. All right, and it is evident that we are above these people. Nevertheless, because of the curses, we find ourselves downtrodden. Okay. All right, let me get this. Here it is. You know, we're the great ones. We're the men of renown. We're the mighty men. But what have we become? Psalms 44:11, it says, thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and dost not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. So here it is, we're greater than them, we're better than them, but we're in the midst of their hands. We can literally, you know, man for man, right? If this just became a hand-on-hand war, amongst all the nations. We all fist fight it out to the death. All right, we gonna stand on top, right? Yet we're captivated by them. So obviously there's some divine work going on. There's something supernatural going on to keep us down. And we understand that it is these curses because of our sins. You know, we committed infraction against the Heavenly Father, so he's brought us down to this low estate. Nevertheless, he's not going to permanently leave us in this estate. All right, and as we get closer to the end, it's being revealed who we are. It's being revealed that we are the children of Israel. Whether these people like it or not, want to admit it or not. All right, matter of fact, we'll go to Daniel real quick. Because even you have the holy children, right? Daniel 1 and 4. I'll start at 3 actually. It says, "And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of the eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans." Right. And this is what happens in every captivity that we go to. They see what we're capable of, so they take some of us and put us up in certain positions. All right, hey, who's somebody you can use as evidence for that in our history? Joseph, right here, Daniel, and the 3 holy children, right? Beautiful and handsome, when we're in our right minds. So they set them up in mighty positions, all right? Using, some of the people we have in today's videos, Simone Biles. She comes out of bad conditions, but she rose to be, a champion, right? And she's well-spoken, right? DC, y'all just seen him, rose up to be a champion, well-spoken, a role model, right? Now, this nigga Crawford, he's a little bit rough around the edges. But he, once again, turned a bad situation into a good one, all right? Despite all of the trauma he had to go through, all right? The PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder from his mama.
Proud or happy, but she never would. So I stayed angry. Explain that to me.
When she always telling you you're gonna lose, or you're not good enough, or you're gonna get your ass kicked, or things like that, it's like, okay. When I win this tournament, she gonna say congratulations, or good job, or I'm proud of you. But it never happened.
What he remembers is all those years wanting for you to say,
I love you.
Yes.
Yep.
You didn't do it.
Nope. I grew up not liking the word. Why?
Damn, y'all, his mama ain't never told him she loved him, man. Hey, some of y'all couldn't handle that. Shit. Jake's a mama boy. Your mama ain't never told you she loved you? No matter how bad it was, right? That'll fuck you up. Well, it turned Crawford into a champion.
I don't know. I never liked the hugs growing up as a kid. I never liked nobody to kiss me growing up as a kid, and it just grew with me as I got older.
She hate that word. She said love is pain. Her support was in a different type of way, it was in a negative way, but when I got older, I noticed that it was her negative way that pushed me to be great.
Would you be Terrence Crawford, the champion we know, if it weren't for that dynamic with you and your mom?
I think she just put the little extra fire, on top of the fire that I already had.
Yep, so ultimately, it was all settled by the Lord. But yeah, she put that extra fire there, all right? Shit, if she don't like being... How the hell was this nigga born? Her dad must have had to strap her the fuck down. In all seriousness, though, you see what's going on here, y'all. So we're people that everybody looks down upon. We come from these hyper disadvantaged starting points, yet we keep rising to the top. All right, so I'm ended with this one because really it's all about the elect. That's what it's all going to culminate to. That's why it's gonna fucking shock the world when they see us going up It can't be them. It could. Oh, he's a nigga. They're black. They're Mexican. They're from 32nd Street. They're from Crenshaw. They're from Detroit. They're from Houston. How could it be them? Because we're the chosen ones. That's how. All right. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. Right? So as they see the elect going up, being saved, all right, it's going to be a complete shocker to the majority of the people of this world, because for the longest of time, we've been seen as nothing. We've lost our former glorious estate, and we're down in this bad estate. So people think nothing of us. All right, verse 3. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the power, and his lot is among the saints. So that right there, y'all, that's where I'm gonna end it. Hey, we're these chosen people. What we're capable of, right? It clearly shows it. So it's not gonna be too much longer now. And all these heathen, all of our enemy who have looked down upon us, soon they're gonna be forced to acknowledge that we are the children of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so that's about it. And give all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rakakurash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all. Go back to Akim, Wa Aqua, learning, teaching in truth and sincerity.